got nothing. Now, if you're a lady and you're in love with a man, especially an African man, I want you to understand this. Pay attention. Because sometimes love might not conquer all. Before you get married, make sure you watch this video so you can learn. Africa has a lot of cultures. There's also religion, tradition. Sometimes they are so interwoven. And when you're getting married to a man from a different culture, it is very, very, very important that you find out what is obtainable in that culture before you jump right in. Because you might be surprised. It might be something you wouldn't expect. Carol's story opens up this truth about some deep cultures that some people might not know about. This is for us to learn and not anything else. So if you're about to get married to someone you don't know very well, you might want to watch this video. Join me in my studio and I'll tell you this story. Now let's get right into it. Now, Carol is a beautiful girl from Kenya. She fell in love with this handsome guy from Guinea. He's an immigrant in Kenya. He's also a tailor. Few months into their relationship, the young man knocked on the door in Carol's family home. He walked in alone, bearing in his hands 10 kola nuts. He told their parents that it's the cultural right for traditional marriage from where he came from. The family liked him and they accepted it. They got married and they soon started having kids. They had 3 kids, and the man also won a government contract which made him very rich. They lived in luxury. They had everything that they needed. One day this man wanted to renew his Guinea passport, so he had to travel to Guinea to do that. So he traveled with his wife to Guinea, which is his country. His wife was so excited to embark on this trip simply because it's an opportunity for her to meet with the guy's family and also, get to know them very well. But then she was shocked to be lodged in a hotel in Guinea, and then after much persuasion from the wife, which is Carol, for the man to take her to the parents' home, he finally agreed to do that. But Carol was very, very surprised to see the slum this man's parents were living in. Carol was shocked and asked her husband, why is your family living in a slum while we are living in luxury over there in Kenya? The husband said, just keep quiet and leave my family the way they are. Carol wouldn't take it because she personally is a good person, so she wouldn't take it. She went as far as sending money to the man's mom and sister for them to come to Kenya. So they actually moved to Kenya against the man's wish. Now, back in Kenya, the man decided to build a house in Kenya. But because he doesn't have like a complete documentation being an immigrant, he wasn't given a land allocation to do that. So the wife came up with a decision, an idea. She convinced her husband to build a house in Guinea. That way, the whole family would move down to Guinea, where they have equal rights with everybody, like they can do anything they want to do without any hindrances. The husband said, although I don't want to do this, but then there is nothing I can do because I don't want to stay close to my home. This still doesn't make sense to Carol at this point, but then he did that. He moved all his family after building a good home in Guinea, moved all his family down to Guinea, and they all lived there. Now down in Guinea, his child, the third child who is a son, was recently circumcised, and according to the culture of Guinea, they usually leave the child after circumcision in the house for a month, and then after which they bring out the child for the whole world to see, and then they throw a party. So he also joined a political party because he wanted to run for a public office. So he decided to join the party that he was going to throw for his son, the same time with a political party. In other words, he's trying to reach out to people. So he merged this together. So he threw a party for complete 3 days. He was very rich. So he had food, drinks, DJ playing loud music and people coming in and going out, eating and having, marrying and doing everything they want and enjoying and eating to their full. So this happened for complete 3 days. On the third night of the party, after Carol had had fun downstairs, she went up to her bed to sleep. But her husband was still downstairs. While she was sleeping, the door opened and behold, that was her husband walking in. And her husband looked very, very worried, and she wanted to know what was going on. The husband sat beside Carol on the bed, who at this time was sitting up on the bed. The husband asked Carol a question that she wasn't expecting. He would say, "Do you trust me?" He said that his late grandmother had a cultural practice before she died. That cultural practice is now on his laps. He is supposed to continue this cultural practice. Carol was all ears, trying to understand what the husband was trying to say. The man would tell Carol that the uncle has instructed him to provide a goat for a sacrifice tonight. And when this goat is sacrificed, something big would happen. Now, Carol, who at this time was very, very concerned, asked her husband, what is the big thing that would happen? The husband went ahead and said, a random person will die in the family. And the wife was like, this doesn't sound good. But then the man went ahead and said that the good news is that one of his uncles has sacrificed himself to be the appointed person that will die when the goat is being sacrificed. Carol still doesn't see a good news in this. But then the man went ahead and told Carol that this is not optional. This has to be done, and there is nothing they can do about it. The only thing that would happen if they don't do it would mean that one person, either him or Carol or the kids, one of them would die. Now, Carol never planned for this when she embarked on this trip. Carol's husband didn't stop there. He also said they also need gold, a piece of gold, together with the goat. So, and that the only gold they have at reach right now would be her wedding ring and his wedding ring. And the wife was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. Why don't you go outside and get a gold? And he's like, we can't get a gold this night. We need to do this night. And that's the only option we have, because they had to do the sacrifice that night. So this was very, very difficult for Carol. But before she reluctantly brought out this golden ring from her fingers, she picked also her husband's ring, put them together and got a rope and tied this ring 7 times.